Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is MegaShadowFist, and welcome back to Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. When we last left off, we started the 4th case, and now we're playing as Mia. Oh, by the way, this is a Thursday edition, so although I have edited the previous episode, it has not gone live yet, so I have not seen your guys' reaction to it, but I hope that it was positive, and let's go ahead and hit continue from save point. Alright, so I think I kind of remembered how I did Edgeworth. It was like this. Witness, state your name and occupation. Gumshoe! Dick Gumshoe! I'm the homicide detective in charge of the case, sir! I finally got promoted to the detective division half a year ago! I don't believe anyone asked you about that. Hey, ma'am! You got any idea how much work it takes? What is it? You're really gorgeous! Excuse me? No, seriously! My heart! It's aching for— God damn it, Gumshoe. Detective, pull yourself together and try to be professional. Otherwise, I'll write you up on contempt so quick that something other than your heart will ache. Ugh. Okay, I get it. I got it, I should say. I still haven't practiced his voice yet. I still need to— Now, detective, tell us about the incident. Yes, sir, right away. The victim was Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, a veteran of the police force. She was stabbed in the back with a knife and died from excessive blood loss. That much is already stated in the autopsy report. The court would like to hear more details about the incident itself. Yes, sir! I gotcha! Okay, let's take a look at this aerial map of the area here. This is a sketch of Dusky Bridge, an old suspension bridge. And the river that runs under there is Eagle River. The victim and the defendant met there, on top of the bridge. After stabbing her in the back, the killer carried the victim back to his car. He was recaptured at a police checkpoint as he was trying to make his getaway, sir. I actually gave him something like this, actually. I see. Dusky Bridge map added to the court record. Was the victim's blood found on the bridge? The victim, Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne, was wearing a thick coat, sir. Unfortunately, no traces of blood were found on the bridge. Mr. Edgeworth, I warn you, I absolutely despise conjecture. If there was no blood on the bridge, then you have no proof that they even met there. Your Honor. If you would listen to the testimony we have prepared, I'm sure you'll be convinced. The two of them most certainly did meet on the bridge that day. Why, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm not sure I like your wagging your finger at me, though. I'm not sure I like you wagging your finger at me as though I am with some hoser. Detective, proceed with your testimony. Yes, sir! Here we go, Mia. Hang on. Okay, now, listen carefully, kitten. One little mistake and this guy will drink you for morning tea. Trust me and get ready. Alright, witness testimony! On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time with Mr. Fowles. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Fowles was arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain. Well, you certainly have established the importance of the bridge. Naturally. Now, would the defense please hurry up and proceed the cross-examination? Yes, Your Honor. Cross-examination. Coming right up. Hey, settle down there, kitten. If you keep trembling like that, you're gonna make me spill my coffee. I'm not trembling. It's just cold in here. The courtroom can be a cold battlefield, all right, especially for a beginner. I don't need you to worry about me. I mean the defendant, the witness, everyone's a beginner in here. Ha! You got me there. But maybe you should keep your claws out and show them what you've got, kitten. Mr. Trite. It's okay, Mia. Stay calm. Just remember those court procedure videos you stayed up all last night watching. Alright, Mia versus Edgeworth. I never thought I'd see the day. The top class prosecutor versus Mia, who's basically like the best, the best defense attorney ever, the best defense attorney ever that ever lived. Seriously. But I guess, this is her beginning stages, so. By the way, I'm pretty sure that the judge's voice is going to change, probably 5 times throughout this entire case. I'm not even joking about it. I'm trying to incorporate that Newfie accent into his thing, but I just can't do that. Maybe if I told... No, this is like whatever. On the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. This unknown person? You have no idea who it might be, right? Sorry, but I'm afraid I do. What? That one who called Sergeant Hawthorne was the defendant, Terry Fowles. What? The defendant? The defendant called her? Sergeant Hawthorne was a very thorough person, sir. She left a note about her phone call with Mr. Fowles. A note? Yeah, a top secret memo that she left on her desk. Victim's note added to the court record. According to this note, it seems the one who called her to the bridge was indeed the defendant, Terry Fowles. Whose bright idea was it to keep that note from me? Ha! Looks like the judge is even more sure of his verdict now. Listen up. Never ask a question if you don't already know the answer. It's that detective's fault. He's the one that said unknown person. Hey now, don't make that face at me. I just said it that way cause the prosecutor told me to. Was that a trap? With that cute face, I didn't expect him to be so sneaky. He's clearly, this is when he's like, obviously this is when he's studying under Von Karma. He is like a spitting image of Manfred Von Karma right now. It's ridiculous. He's making all the same poses. The only difference is that, like, only familiar animation that I've seen him do is like the shoulder shake shrug thing. Confidential police material written by the victim. Touch check button for details. February 14th. Valentine's Day. 1:21 p.m. Falls 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Okay. Anyway. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time with Mr. Fowles. A bridge up in the mountains, but why meet there? Because it is a very important place to the defendant, that's why. What do you mean by that? If you remember, this is not Godot. If you remember, 5 years ago the defendant kidnapped a young girl. He was chased onto a bridge, and it was there that he killed his hostage. And the place where all of this occurred is, of course, Dusky Bridge. The very place where Sergeant Hawthorne arrested and handcuffed Mr. Fowles. Ha! Returned to the scene of the crime. How nostalgic. And that's where she was brutally murdered, sir. Was the body of the victim discovered right away? Yeah, we were really on the ball. We found the criminal within 1 hour of the murder. It was great! We even got to say, don't move, we got you surrounded! Wait a second. Isn't there something weird about that? The location was a suspension bridge up in the mountains. So how did they find out about the crime so quickly? Sergeant Hawthorne must have mentioned the phone call to someone else, right? Ha! If that's what had happened, then she wouldn't have been killed. She never mentioned the phone call before Mr. Fowles, but she left a note on her desk about it. If only I had noticed it earlier, maybe she'd still be alive. I wonder why she didn't mention the phone call to anyone. The criminal stuffed her body into his car trunk and tried to make a getaway. Mr. Fowles had a car then? Well, that bridge is way up in the mountains, ma'am. The defendant and the victim both went up there by car. I mean, how else, right? What? You mean the defendant drove his own car? No, of course not. It was stolen. He stole it from a young couple that had been waiting at a red light. Car thieves. I'm not sure how I feel about car thieves. Is this guy sure about how he feels about anything? This is a photo of the stolen car's trunk. Naturally, that's the body of Valerie Hawthorne in there. Whoa, that doesn't look too comfortable. Crime photo added to the court record. The victim, she was stabbed in the back, correct? Yeah. Ha! For some reason, men always seem to get stabbed in the back. We're talking about a woman here. You can't tell this from the photo, but the knife was stuck in her back nice and firm. The condition of the body when it was discovered was very important information. Detective, was there anything strange or noteworthy in the trunk of the car? Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange. Do you anyway? Do you? Anyway.
What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
What he always says, ma'am. I didn't do it. I didn't do nothing. That's all he says.
Nuttin? I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car.
It's just that he always says, it's just what he always says, Your Honor. And then he always says, sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that.
Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested.
Precisely. Mr. Fowles is arrested at a police checkpoint we set up at the base of the mountain.
That certainly is some impressive police work.
Well, no, actually, it was way too close for comfort. We set up that checkpoint just after 5 o'clock p.m. We figured that Mr. Fowles might just try to run.
What do you mean it was too close for comfort?
The two of them arranged to meet at 4:30 p.m. And it takes approximately 30 minutes to go from the bridge to the checkpoint.
That was kinda close, and any later, Mr. Fowles could have slipped right by.
Listen up, kid. There's a big trap waiting for you in that testimony.
A trap?
Walk into it carelessly, and it'll leave more than just a flesh wound. Fun, huh?
No, it's not!
Well, if you want to have any chance at all, you'd better get some more information. And if you're going to get caught in a trap, it's best to get caught early. You can always look for contradictions afterwards.
The ever-famous contradictions. I sure hope I can find some of those.
Yeah, so this one is going to be a pretty tough one, I imagine, because it's set up like a first case of the game, right? Where like we don't do an investigation, we're just going straight into like contradicting evidence. But at the same time, the difficulty level is it's treated as if it's a fourth case, and since we didn't get time to get to know the characters or gather information, that makes this really difficult, I think. First of all, let's go ahead and check all their whatchamacallit. So, attorney's badge, proved by profession, it's brand new and sparkles in the light. Stabbed with it looks exactly like Phoenix's. Stabbed with a knife in the back, died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Okay. Died from blood loss between 4 and 5 p.m. Bridge located 40 feet above Eagle River. Touch check button for details. Okay, there's the car, 5 yards. Okay, there's the river. Okay. That looks like a 5-yard gap between the bridge that's broken. How did they... Okay. Confidential police materials written by the victim. Touch check button for details. Falls 4:30 p.m. at the bridge. Wear white scarf for identification. Talk to Dahlia. Oh, I didn't even mention Dahlia. They mentioned Dahlia here. So, you know, if the Hawthorne last name wasn't enough, there we are. There's Dahlia Hawthorne. Tell her this time. The whole truth must come out. Crime photo. Photo of the Fowles trunk. Touch the check button for details. Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's go ahead and back out. Okay, so on the day of the incident, an unknown person phoned the sergeant and asked to meet. Sergeant Hawthorne went to Dusky Bridge at the designated time and met with Mr. Fowles. And that's where she was brutally murdered. Hold on. Let me check something. What time were they supposed to meet? Victim's note. Falls 4:30 p.m. at that bridge. Okay, and it says that she died between 4 and 5 o'clock p.m. Okay. That's where she was brutally murdered. The criminal stuffed her body into his car's trunk and tried to make a getaway. Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange, do you? And I feel like this is what we're gonna have to press, I think. Mr. Fowles is arrested at a police checkpoint that we set up at the base of the mountain. Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange, do you? I feel like this is what we have to press. Come on, seriously? Let's go and press this again. I didn't press it again, but we pressed it before, but let me...
What did the defendant have to say about this photo?
What he always says, ma'am! I didn't do it! I didn't do nothing! That's all he says!
Nuttin? I wouldn't say he did nothing. At the very least, we know he stole a car.
It's just what he always says, Your Honor, and then he always says... sorry, I told a little lie. Or something like that.
Well, in any case, it seems he was caught and arrested.
Precisely.
Oh, I can't be stuck on the first one already. Here's a photo of the trunk, but I don't see anything strange, do you?
There has to be something strange. Like, the game is basically telling us to present evidence for this. But just what do we present evidence for? The victim's note? I don't see anything strange. She's not wearing a scarf. It says check scarf. What? Oops, I almost went into my normal voice there. Witness!
What is it? Do you have something to say, Miss Faye?
I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was... What? No! No! Are you kidding me? Why? I'm sorry. I totally forgot what I was going to say. This is the first time I've ever had to actually address someone like that.
Ugh. You should have practiced before coming to court. Honestly, Miss Faye, I'm not sure I like this. Say there, little kitten. Want a piece of my coffee candy?
Candy?
Well, you're still too young to be drinking real coffee.
No, she's not. She's older than Edgeworth, and Edgeworth is 20. So, we don't have a profile, but I believe, let's see, if Edgeworth and Phoenix were born in 1992, I would say that Mia was maybe born in 1988 or so, 1988, which, considering that this is 6 years prior, this would take place in 2012, meaning that she would be 24. Come on! I mean, she's almost old enough to be able to rent a car by herself. Come on, Mia, shake it off. You're a lawyer. Detective!
Yes, ma'am! Yes, ma'am!
This photo. You said that there was nothing peculiar about it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I said!
Well then, I suggest you take another look at the note written by the victim.
The note?!
It very clearly says, wear white scarf for identification. The caller must have forgotten what the victim looked like. Thus, this special request...
I
have one very simple question for you, Detective. Where's the white scarf? I can't seem to find it in this photo.
Well, to be honest, we didn't find it in the truck, ma'am.
And you stopped there? You should have looked for it.
This caller told her to wear the identify herself, so I'd expect she did just that. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this? I see the defense is a little lacking. The scarf you are searching so desperately for, is it this one, perchance? Where did you find that, sir? On Dusky Bridge. I was there first and decided to conduct my own investigation. Why? Why didn't you tell me? I made a decision to keep all pieces of evidence in my personal satchel. It's the safest place I know. That hotshot sure has a flair for the dramatic. It's not exactly white, as the caller requested, but as you can see, it's close enough for what it was intended for. It looks like it spent some time in the mud! Not surprising, it was drizzling on the mountain that day.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, he was intentionally hiding that scarf the whole time.
The court will accept the scarf into evidence!
Scarf added to the court record.
Now, if the attorney for the defense has finished embarrassing herself, I'd like to move on with the testimony. That is alright with you, isn't it, Miss Faye?
Boy, would I like to wrap this scarf around his smarmy little neck.
Very good. Now, if we're done with this mud-covered scarf business, the prosecution moves to establish conclusively and with hard evidence that Miss Hawthorne and Miss Fowles did indeed meet on that bridge that day. Further, we will show exactly what occurred there. That sounds quite promising. I can't wait to hear all about it.
Everything is moving at his whim.
Don't forget, kitten, there's a reason why everyone considers this kid a genius. I guess we'll figure out what that is in the next episode. Awkward pause. Ha! 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 Coffee!